Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you ever so much, those of you that have stayed, and you're going to have the benefit, hopefully, of a couple of drinks before we have to face the traffic when you head off. Hopefully, lots of you aren't driving. So we've now got our ISV panel, where we've got, I'll sit on this side, here we go. Three ISVs here represented that will speak you through a couple of questions on working with Microsoft and Grey Matter. And so if you guys wouldn't mind just introducing yourselves. So.
Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm from SharpAxe Computer Systems. We do ERP software for small wholesalers, distributors.
Excellent, thank you.
My name is Gunaselvam, Managing Director of PowerServer Systems Limited. We're a small ISV, UK-based ISV, specializing in business intelligence, business automation, and cloud services. We have a domestic and international client base. I am also wearing another hat, where I'm part of a startup as well, but I'll keep that out of it in this session.
Okay, Mark Travis. I suppose I was MD. I'm now a senior principal, having business being acquired over Christmas time. Yeah, we're the Silverbear, UK's largest Microsoft Dynamics ISV in membership. Yeah.
So, Mark, I'll start with you. Can you let us know how technology has impacted your business over the last 3 years?
Over the last 3 years, I think that's
or however long you want, right? That was the.
I think for us, the last 3 years has been all about getting to the cloud and driving our business to the cloud, and moving from a traditional on-premise implementation to a platform as a service solution. Our solution is based on Dynamics, so Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and there's been an absolutely vast amount of change in the platform the last 3 years. So we've been really, I think, struggling to keep up with the pace of Microsoft change in terms of the technical platform, the challenges of that. The opportunity, though, is fantastic, and the roadmap is absolutely a great place to be when we get there. But it's the journey, and having a legacy of 60 customers and taking them through that journey as well has been challenging and required a lot of ongoing investment, I think. But yeah, and we're working through that with Microsoft now. We're hitting some big challenges as we try to take some of the bigger customers through the new technology. So it's been a bumpy journey. We've had quite a lot of good support from Microsoft when we've needed it, but yeah, it continues to be challenging. But the opportunity, we think, is great. We like the vision they have for the platform. We're working towards that. But it's an ongoing piece of work, and it has taken us 3 years to move there, and we're almost there.
Excellent, you're doing well. And how about you, Paul?
Yeah, it's interesting because for us, the main impact has been an indirect one, and that is through the customer behavior, our customer demand, and their expectations, really, that is put upon us. So let me just clarify that a little bit more. What we would have considered extraordinary, say 3 years ago, is no longer extraordinary. So customers want feature-rich information at their fingertips, and when you do provide that feature-rich, information at their fingertips, they want it regardless, transcending geographic or platform or technical barriers, and even when you transcend that, they want it accompanied with sort of additional value-added services, such as whether it's BI or AI or machine learning models, so all of these things, what we would have considered extraordinary, say even 3 years ago, 2 years ago, is becoming less and less extraordinary. So in addition to the core value proposition, we are actually required to actually add these value-added services, which used to be extraordinary, which is becoming more and more of the norm. So for us, the greatest issue is not on what we deliver as a final deliverable, but is more on how we conceptualize and how we design our architecture in the first place. So when you're working with very large, long-term projects, you can't, as Edward said this morning, you can't have a waterfall type deliverable, because by the time you deliver, the market has moved on, technology has moved on, there are regulatory changes, there are so many changes. So how do we best prepare ourselves to have an architecture that is adaptable to not just a single future, but the possibility of multiple futures, and still have the correct deliverable at that time? So for us, we had to, break away from any form of monolithic type of architecture. And, even in a cloud infrastructure, you could end up with a monolithic solution that, ends up shooting yourself in the foot. So, moving away from that, looking into serverless architecture wherever possible, or microservices wherever possible, cross-platform, elasticity in our solution. So, to answer the question in very short form, the impact that it has had on us is all these extraordinary, the things that have been ordinary have become extraordinary, which means it puts, not pressure, but it puts the ownership on us to continue to be extraordinary so that we can continue to be an innovative company and service our customers. It's a long-winded answer, but I hope it makes sense.
That's great. Thank you. And Alex, how about it? Sharp AX, how's that?
Well, I'm not
Sharp
going to
AX,
say
sorry.
anywhere near as much as that. With our, generally, with our customer base, we're aiming for the much, much smaller wholesalers and distributors. Primarily speaking, before they use SharpAX, they don't have any form of computing system. They might have a computer and internet account for Google in their lunch breaks, and that's about it. So up until 3 years ago, let's say, it was pretty much you need a computer system to do all the clever stuff, and especially with this year with MTD and that sort of requirements for accountancy. What's changed, especially with Microsoft, with their big advertising push on Azure and the cloud, is people are aware of these buzzwords now. No longer does the IT geek in the room say a buzzword and you get blank faces. You now hear, you say Azure, and they go, oh yeah, I've seen the advert for that. So they know what you're talking about, and it helps massively in helping them understand why they need to upgrade, why they need to move, all the benefits of moving to the cloud, and also the disadvantage of it. So I'd say, generally speaking, not so much from a technological point of view, but the people we're talking to are more aware of the technology, which helps massively.
Excellent. And so, sticking with you then, Alex, so moving down. So, give you a chance to go first this time, so they don't do that. So, how would you describe your relationship with Microsoft?
Well,
sorry, there are some in the room, so just maybe be careful with this.
It's as good as it can be. They have an immeasurable task, by all means, in keeping up to date with everything that's going on, but also maintaining all the people that are using a system written 30 years ago. They're there when you need them, definitely, and with connecting through Grey Matter as well and other support channels, there's always an answer, and the documentation is fantastic. The information is there when you need it without knowing you need it, and you can come across. I've got a stack of bedtime reading on my phone that winds my wife up no end, but it's the information is there. You just need to go out and look for it.
Perfect. And so, Paul, how about you?
Yeah, so we're predominantly a Microsoft stack company. So without the help and input that we have received from Microsoft, it would be very difficult to sort of do the things that we are able to do. It doesn't mean that we couldn't have done it, but it just means that they have actually shortened the curve for us in order to do what we are doing. Microsoft, I'm going to state the obvious, is a big company, so sometimes the relationship can be quite challenging. But it is important to note there's a lot of help there, that Microsoft are providing to ISVs, and there's a lot of value to be extracted from that, really. So, and as a final thing, you might be a little bit tired about hearing about Azure or Office 365 or the whole ecosystem, but for us, it has actually transformed the way we work, really, by creating new opportunities, helping us to tap into new markets and new products and innovate a bit more differently than we would have been able to do in the past.
Excellent. And Mark, how's Silverbear's relationship with Microsoft?
Yeah, no, we're a managed partner, so we're a fully managed partner. We have a partner development manager who works with us. And they're incredibly supportive and trying to help us. I think they've really struggled to work with ISVs successfully and to build programs around them. And I think they're just coming round to that understanding that IP is what drives the stack and what the usage of the stack, and that actually the ISVs are incredibly important in the ecosystem, and to really clearly understand what their drivers are, our drivers are, so that we can both help each other. So I think that partnership has really developed and is developing. I think we've been involved involved earlier in the partner advisory councils in Seattle and Redmond. We now, it's enabled us to get access to development teams. We've had real issues and architectural issues around the product as we right on the front edge of the new versions of Dynamics. So it's been really good. I think it's from a technical perspective, from a commercial perspective, but also from helping us on our strategy, getting involved in our architectural design, and also we get involved in like machine learning, etc. So we've been on the hacks that they've had for partners, and through that we've developed a new product line around using AI for predicting in our solutions. So it's been a very positive thing, but it's hard work. And I think we need to understand what they need driven out of that, what they want from us. We need to be a good partner as they need to be a good partner. So it's also really understanding what you need to do to help Microsoft make you successful is also key. And I think that takes a bit of time and working closely with our partner manager to really facilitate that.
Excellent. Yeah. So start with you this time, Paul, to give you a chance to go first. And now that I've heard you say nice things about Microsoft, I will ask you about Grey Matter, right? And so how do you see your partnership with Grey Matter?
Well, apart from suffering in jealousy on where you guys are based, I think it's a beautiful part of the world where you guys are based. I think I personally would consider. I think Grey Matter are a great bunch, and I'm not just saying that. We've had a very long-term relationship with Grey Matter, and I personally consider Grey Matter to be an extension of our team, and I'll just clarify that in a little while. And especially your partnership with Microsoft has really lifted a lot of the burden from us. In terms of not just licensing and provisioning, but also some of the early support issues as well. So for me, it's a massive benefit. And the GM Series platform recently, that's been launched. If you haven't checked it out, check it out, because if you do want fine control over your licensing, provisioning, pay as you go, switching, seats from one to another, you have all of that. So. If I have been a little bit abstract in what I said, I would say the relationship is good.
Excellent. Thank you for clarifying that. That's good. And how about you, Alex?
Well, invaluable, really, to me personally, in helping me do what I do for the company, but also for the company generally from before I started. Without Grey Matter, we wouldn't have just the number of customers we have, because we had some feedback from the cost of the product. We went with that to Grey Matter, and they suggested a different way of licensing SQL, which brought down the cost and opened the door to a whole load of customers. So you could use Grey Matter purely for good value products. But on top of that, you guys really, and I'm not just saying this because you're here and because this is being run by Grey Matter, but having, I pick up the phone, I get an answer, and I get the answer to the problem, like the full answer within 24 hours. You can't put a price on that because it helps me answer it and it helps me look good. And anything that makes me look good, I like. So it really genuinely is invaluable. And the support, the added level and the connection to Microsoft is just fantastic.
Perfect. Thank you. And so, Mark,
I think I first used Grey Matter at 20 odd years ago buying compilers, I think was the. But yeah, in Silverbear, it's a maze, the licensing models with Microsoft. And Microsoft don't often give you conflicting answers on licensing issues, as Sally knows. So it's been, really helping us navigate that maze of the licensing models. We had some presentations about simplification of the licensing models, et cetera, et cetera. But I think also in that relationship, Microsoft has sort of created a bit of an issue in terms of how we license stuff as an ISV embed and how that works. It's been, and we've been working to try to resolve those sort of issues, but it's been, I think always, Sally and the team have been incredibly fast at responding and really helping. As you say, I think that's a real good point, is optimizing or minimizing the license cost to the customer. As an ISV, that's really important because that takes money off the table. So it's really important to make sure you're balancing that, you're correctly licensing, and also you're aware of how it comes. So it's the optimization of the licensing and just the administration of it, making it simple, easy to use, and making it not a barrier to what we do, but really helping us in terms of getting the right information at the right time in front of our customers is really invaluable.
Excellent. And so, sticking with you then, Mark, what would you, sorry, drop that. How would you advise ISVs that are looking to adopt Microsoft technologies?
Well, I can, as a Dynamics ISV, I suppose it's a slightly different world we live in. I think, you know, we sort of talk about the startups. You know, we were incubated as well as a Microsoft partner and straight through to Gold Partner, etc. And we later became, you know, developing our IP. So we, you know, that's the route we've taken. We feel that, you know, developing and building enterprise value in our business is, you know, a long-term goal, and it's been very successful for us as a business, enabled us to exit, or mean to exit the businesses were from that perspective. So that's been, you know, a very good strategic way forward. So, and building that with Microsoft has been really, really key. It's been, you know, we had to pick a platform going back, you know, in our case it was Salesforce or Microsoft. We feel we made the right decision because Microsoft, the way its technology has moved, its partnership model, and its support for us, and the way it works with our customer base has been really, you know, an absolutely key part of the value add and building enterprise value in our business. So we believe that they've added value to our business. Our relationship as a direct partner, managed partner, and having that insight and work and co-sell with Microsoft, again, adds value, enterprise value to our business. So I think they have enabled us to be more successful and deliver more enterprise value for us as a business and through to our customers. So it's been a very fruitful relationship with Microsoft and continues to be so.
Excellent, thank you. And so, Paul, how about you?
I think the first one is an obvious one, but a lot of ISVs don't do this, is just get help. You know, there's a lot of help available. So speak with Microsoft, you know, speak with Grey Matter is an obvious thing to say, but it's an untapped resource that is actually priceless. So, you know, I will say do that. If you're not part of the Microsoft Partner Network, you know, have a look into that because you can extract a lot of value out of that. And then, you know, some of the other things like, you know, in your architecture, you know, build for scaling, Azure and the ecosystem and everything that goes around it is just so geared for that. You know, just have that in the back of your mind when you're architecting your solution, you know, not just horizontal scaling, but just, you know, take that into account. And then, you know, think about, you know, maybe entering the marketplace with Microsoft, you know, co-selling with Microsoft. You know, Rachel will be more than happy to, you know, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to guide you in that. She gave a fantastic talk earlier. So co-selling is, the reason why co-selling is important there is that instead of you having to target every individual node, you know, Microsoft will be able to target the nodes above and pretty much rain down awareness of your product. So, I mean, for me, that is an invaluable thing that Microsoft, you know, are able to do. And finally, you know, be an innovative company. History has taught us that companies that fail to continually innovate ultimately fail. So the importance in having to continually innovate is a pretty important one. And with all the sort of uncertainty with that B word that is going around, I feel, you know, UK is enriched with a lot of, you know, talent. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for existing innovative companies to be more innovative, but also emerging companies to be innovative as well.
Excellent. And so, Alex, what would your advice be?
Something that hasn't already been said, you mean?
Yeah.
It's the two main things I'd say is read. Microsoft Docs website is fantastic. You know, it's tons of useful information, relevant information, stuff about where they're going, where they've been, all that sort of stuff is super useful. And then the other thing is get involved with the partner. It will break down so many issues, so many barriers, because don't waste your time reinventing the wheel. If you're hitting your head with a problem, there's a chance someone's already covered it, and if you find a partner, and a nice partner like Grey Matter, then there's a chance that they will be able to, maybe not fix it for you, but at least show it to you in a new light and help you resolve it and just get you to market or to the next version or the next improvement quicker.
Excellent, thank you. And thank you all so much for taking the time to come up and do this today. Events like today can't go on without people like you, so just if we could give the guys a quick round of applause, that would be And then if I can just invite the presenters from today that are still here just quickly up on stage for a quick Q&A session before the bar opens, if you wouldn't mind. I know a few of you have said that you will. So hopefully those of you that are still here have saved up a couple of questions over the day, or if you haven't managed to grab one of these guys, now is your opportunity to pick their brains, along with the ISV panel as well. So anybody... Put your hand up if you've got a question. Which is, and we've definitely put some Grey Matter stooges, right, to ask some questions first, so I can see. I'm sure you've all got them. If not, you guys are holding the microphone, so you're going to have to ask the questions yourself. Right.
I actually just want to add to the entire panel. It's great to hear these voices and stuff, but like from a Microsoft perspective, I've been working with partners now for nearly 13 years. And self-sufficiency is one of the biggest things I think we do teach a lot of our companies, because us only go so far and we can't support every single partner. It's great to hear that docs.microsoft.com is working for you, because I kind of work really closely with that team, and to hear that that's being an amazing, it's such a big resource that we've put in, so it's great to hear that feedback. And if you don't mind, I'm going to tell them that you said that.
I live in it, so it's fine.
But yeah, all of these guys have talked about the resources. Like, online is amazing. Like, we do have a huge amount of resources, and working with other partners like Grey Matter can really help you get to us, because again, there's only a few people in the partner team that really are around. So as much as we try and answer everyone's questions, one of the things, again, just I work in the startups team here at Microsoft. One of the things I teach all my startups is if I'm not around, like I'm on holiday, how are you going to get that piece of information? So just a general common sense is sometimes really important when you're thinking about how do I find that piece of information as well. So if it can't be answered online, then again, yes, you have the amazing resource inside of us as well. So just add kind of a little bit of perspective on that too.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I'm sure any of you that have presented before are aware how much effort goes into putting those sessions together, getting the content there, and practicing it, making sure it runs to time, and that Alana and the guys that organise it are all happy. So I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys. Obviously, there were many more people that were presenting as well that have had to move on, but I just want a big round of applause to you, and thank you so much for what you've done. You've done, and in between the sessions, the feedback that I've had from all of you has been really good thus far. I guess if there's any bad feedback, maybe you can email that in later. But I just want to say a really big thank you to Chris and to Alana, if I can spot her. Where's she hiding? Give us Is she at the bar? Gosh, she's not even here. So she missed a big moment anyway there. We had loads of flowers ready for her, remember? Yeah, that was it. She missed out. We'll just give Chris a round of applause then. So thank you, Chris.
Where are my flowers?
No, yeah. You can get them later. It's all right. From the garage on the way home, right? I'll give you that. So I guess with that, the bar is open. So thank you ever so much, everybody. We look to be running this as an annual event. There are lots of other webinars, workshops, live labs that we run throughout the year. So please keep a lookout for those. We'll keep on informing you about them. And let's make this a two-way conversation. Please speak to us. And we'll try and put on the sessions that add value to your business. So thank you all for making this such a great day for us. And we look forward to seeing you next year, if not before. So thank you.